So first of all, I just want to take this time to say thank you so much for coming to one of our retreats. So you've had a powerful experience and now you're back home. And we're going to share some of the techniques and things we've learned through this process related to integration and kind of what has helped and what has supported us and what may be beneficial for you guys.
We've been in your shoes, and so it's a lot. And there's also a lot of tools and modalities that can be really helpful in the process. And I think that knowing that other people have gone through what you have helps in itself.
I think one of the most important things to realize is just like, this is normal. Like you went from an environment that was very safe, contained. You might have had these mind-blowing experiences or revelations or information, and then now you're back in a completely different environment, in a different space. And this is the work. It's adjusting to going from where you had these powerful experiences and all of this information, and now it is this process of integrating, which is, implementing that information, choosing how you want to see things, choosing how you want to live your life now. And yeah, overwhelming, I think, to say the least. It can be anyway.
Yeah. Well, and you've had a perspective shift. You've had some light shown on possible conditioning, have had an intense experience. And so just allowing whatever you're feeling to be there and knowing that it is normal, that there's no one way or one emotion. It's a lot of it coming back home. And so for me, when I've come back home, I feel very emotional. And I think two words that really help me is just space and grace.
Space and grace?
Space and grace. If you can remember those two things, I think that does a lot. But as far as what to expect, also along with emotions, I would say is just needing to move a little bit slower. So with that space, to me, is allowing just more time, some processing time alone.
Yeah, I would say one of the two main things that people talk about when they get home is that like vulnerability and openness of the feelings and the emotions and everything that's come out or come to the surface and flowed. So, one thing is just you may have heightened emotions or heightened sensitivity with a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And then I think how to kind of navigate that is what you're speaking about.
Yeah. Because we are mind, body, and emotions too. Even like food, you can have different sensitivities to food. Your body's recalibrating, your emotions are recalibrating, your mind, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back just after my first few experiences. Even some of the music I felt like listening to was a bit different. I think I might have cried on a commercial or something like that.
Yeah.
But just like having that heightened sensitivity and heightened emotional state is definitely something that is normal.
Yeah, and you're more aware of your surroundings too, and that can cause some more emotional responses as well. Just allowing that all to be there without judgment, so that would be the grace. If you cry at a commercial, it's okay.
To your point too, with the emotions thing, I think there are other emotions too. There might be some anger, there might be some frustration, there might be some at yourself, there might be some at other people.
Yeah. And so time, so that's like giving yourself time to just sit with those emotions, allowing them to be there. And one of the tools that I like to use to give the emotions and mind a place to land is journaling. Mm-hmm. So allowing things to flow through the paper helps with like the processing of emotions and kind of creates this.
For me, journaling is like the outlet to get the things in your mind more out of your mind onto paper, let the things flow through so that you are able to maybe experience or feel some of the emotions behind it.
Yeah, some awareness of the emotion with the cognition and writing it out, and then coming back to the body and feeling it. And I think the number one thing is breath, actually, is their biggest tool and support. Space, grace, and breath. Or maybe breath, space, and grace.
Space Grace breath sounds a little bit better. But breath is an incredibly powerful tool that, we spoke about in the ceremonies, but it's also something to use in your daily life. I think if you don't know what else to do, if anything is difficult or coming up, that's the one thing that you can always fall back on.
Yeah, always there. And awareness of your breath, like a hand on the heart, and allowing the breath to expand, bringing you back into your body. And it can be very cleansing. Breath is...
It's also self-regulating on your nervous system.
Yeah. So breath is huge. Also, when you realize you have made some changes or you have a shift in perspective, coming back and realizing other people in your environment have not. How have you processed or handled that coming back?
Well, I think that is one of the most challenging things that people experience because they're in this safe container. Everyone else here is also part of that experience, so has some frame of reference for what they're speaking about or what they felt and what they went through. And like if you try to explain what an ayahuasca ceremony or what the retreats were like to someone who's never done this, that alone is quite challenging and difficult. And then in addition to it, there is, it's just you have become more aware and you've made changes and they have not. I would say a couple things to navigate through that. Having love and compassion for the other person, but without any judgment or making yourself more aware or enlightened or above anyone else. It's very much in the same way that you're treating yourself with your own compassion of what you're going through at this moment. Extend that same level of empathy towards the other person.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I think it's about knowing yourself and then creating that, it's the rules or boundaries for yourself.
To know thyself is the beginning of wisdom. So it's like coming back and also recognizing that you may need to get to know yourself too, and that you have changed, and then other people around you too. And so also with the process of change, I think space and grace with that too, and making slow, consistent, steady adjustments. One being like breathing, remembering to breathe more frequently, conscious breath.
With some of these things, I tend to experience like this overwhelm where it's like, okay, you have this and this came up from your childhood and there's this that I need to work on or this that I would like to shift. And I think that expression that we may have used, or you may have heard during the retreat, but just what you feel you heal and what you see you set free, that is a powerful message in and of itself, but it also has an underlying meaning to it where it's gonna kind of also unfold naturally with its own time and with its own rhythm, as long as you're allowing it to do that.
I love that. Just allow a natural unfolding. What about flashbacks?
So that is something that we also discuss here, but it is possible to happen, just so people are aware of it. Sometimes, especially when you are maybe in a state of, usually it's happens when people are falling asleep, then you may have these kind of mini flashbacks of going into the medicine. And first of all, again, that is normal. It's okay. Breath is a big one to kind of navigate through that. Another thing is just the mentality with it. This is something that is to my benefit. This is something that is still kind of coming up or still kind of there.
Like an extension, extra bonus points.
Because as soon as it happens, if you start to have a fear of it, then also that's where the struggle comes in.
So just allow.
I would also say too, that especially is important with journaling. Because usually there's something that's trying to come out or something that's trying to come to the surface related to those kind of mini flashbacks. And if you can kind of take the time, journal about what's going on, then sometimes that'll just have all of the information flow onto the page.
Meditation. That's probably my favorite with breath.
Yeah, well, I mean, meditation is something we talk about a lot. We have other videos on meditation, but overall, I think meditation, one, it's taking the time for yourself, carving out some space for yourself, and then it is getting this awareness of what is actually going on. And the thing too that's coming to my mind with meditation is it's not just always something to relax. I think that's kind of the traditional way that people feel about meditation, but sometimes it's also taking the time to just feel and allow those things to come up and surface.
Expanded awareness, space between thoughts, and so you can feel. And I think that something that helped me was coming home meditations were guided meditations. And then if I wanted to like expand on just self meditation, that was helpful too.
How do you feel meditation kind of plays into, I mean, in life, I think it's beneficial, but specifically with leaving a retreat?
Well, I think it's the space part. It's space and breath, and it's sitting with the self, and it's bringing your awareness to the present moment, to how you're feeling. So I think meditation is the place to be with the self and to allow.
Yeah. I mean, one of the most powerful things that happen in this retreat for most people is getting this deep internal knowledge of the self, where the self comes from, who I am, remember who you are. And I think that's one of the best ways to continue that process outside of medicine.
100%. And I think it's important to remember that often and daily. And that helps with integration. That helps keep the wisdom, the insights, anything from ceremony into your life, which is the embodiment when it becomes a part of you, who you are.
Those techniques too are also very much what we advocate during the ayahuasca ceremonies, which you are your medicine. You are your own internal healer.
And psilocybin too, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The plants are the tools that show us that we are the medicine. Anything
else you think of that is difficult or uncomfortable that you found tools to help around? I would like to add some grounding exercises that I used was like going outside, spending time in nature. To me, the sun in the morning is really regulating. That helps a lot. And also, I found leaving retreats, I also needed a little bit extra electrolytes, salt in the water, or baths were very soothing to me, to my nervous system.
Yeah, regardless of which retreat you attended, there is very much a physical component to this because you're here for a week. You are probably eating different food. Your sleep schedule's different. Hydration's different. So that's just another adjustment period that is on the physical level. So doing those parts of those things to support your body, there is a somatic aspect to it as well.
I agree. And then also knowing that there's integration calls and integration support afterwards, that you're not alone in the process, being able to share how you're feeling with other people.
So overall, you made the decision for yourself to come here. And so that's what we recommend. Continue to make decisions for yourself, continue to put yourself as a priority. And that's overall the best recommendation I can mention to continue the integration process. We also have integration calls through our integration program, Soul.
Soul is an app that you can join, and it is included a 30-day roadmap with activities and practices each day to support the integration journey, as well as some expanded topics like meditation, breathing, and all of the ways that I have learned to integrate through it. So the most important thing I would say is to continue to choose yourself, just like you did in attending the retreat in the first place, and space, grace, and breath. Also to join the integration calls.
So the integration calls will be through Soul, which is a community-based platform that we developed based on our own experience. It's pretty much the roadmap that we have put into this program. We put our soul into this program from all of our experiences with integration, and we'd love for you to be a part of that, and we'd love for you to join it. I think that's also just one of the best tools after you leave the retreat to continue this process.